What made you realize the thing everyone hated about you was the thing they secretly needed? I was the kid who couldn't stop asking questions, not curious questions, interrogation questions. If a teacher said Columbus discovered America, I'd ask who was already living there. If my dad said he'd be home at 6, I'd ask why he was late yesterday. I couldn't help it. My brain saw holes in everything people said and I had to poke them. My mom called it exhausting. My teachers called it disruptive. I called it Tuesday. Wait, I called it hell because I didn't have a single friend for 4 years. Nobody wants to hang out with someone who questions every single thing they say. My therapist said I had trust issues. My principal said I had authority issues. Neither understood. I just needed things to make sense. When someone told me something, my brain automatically searched for inconsistencies. The questions would build up in my throat until I had to ask them. I didn't want to ruin conversations. I wanted to understand why people said things that didn't add up. Everything changed the day I accidentally exposed Mr. Whitmore in front of the entire sophomore English class. He was explaining why we couldn't use phones during tests. Studies show phone usage correlates with lower test scores, he said confidently. Kids nodded. I raised my hand. What studies? He smiled. Multiple studies. It's common knowledge. I couldn't stop myself. Can you name one? Just one specific study? His smile died. I don't need to cite sources for common sense, but you just said studies, plural. If they exist, you should be able to name at least one. The class went silent. He turned red. This is exactly why you don't have friends. Nobody likes someone who questions everything. I felt my face burn, but I also noticed he still hadn't answered my question. 3 days later, the school board fired him. Turns out another student recorded my question and posted it. People started digging. Mr. Whitmore had been lying about his credentials for 6 years. No master's degree, no teaching certification from the state he claimed, just a guy who talked confidently enough that nobody questioned him until I did. The principal called me into her office. I expected detention. Instead, she said, "Have you ever thought about journalism?" A week later, I was sitting in the school newspaper office across from the editor, a senior named Vanessa. She slid a folder across the table. The school's budget report. Principal says we're broke. Need to cut arts and sports. I need you to read this and tell me what's wrong.
Scan the QR code to download TikTok. The subsequent story endings are explosive and full of hidden surprises waiting for you. You can also get rewards by creating a new account.